Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Man, look at that. Princess of Pentacles. This is infinite resources. This is kind of like suddenly you realize that you're standing on a gold mine, right? Suddenly every want, every need that you have is fulfilled, right? This is the promise that if you can dream it, if you can imagine it, it will manifest, it will materialize, right? We still have to do the work, right? We still have to do the digging, but all of the it's kind of like if you're working on something or you're trying to make progress, trying to do a business or a project or something, whatever you realize you need, oh, it's right there, you know? Oh, I need some 2x4s. Oh, here's a big stack of 2x4s. All the resources that you could possibly need are here for you. What are you constructing with these resources? That's the big question, though. That's the big, I want to see the rest of these cards. There's the builder. Perfect. Yes. Nice. Princess of Pentacles is the resources. Prince of Pentacles is the builder, the one that takes these resources and now is putting them together into something. But what? Well, you're taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, so that we'll see about this. We've got the Chariot now. We've got the Sun now. Are we going to do 4 for 4 major arcana? No. We've got some water energy. But this is good. Now there's these 3 court cards, and I think that there is the family thing going on. Now I don't know if it's 3 of you, or if it's mom and brother and sister, or I don't know what the dynamic is, but I feel like there's something going on with your family, and it's requiring some of your attention right now. Okay. It could be that something that you are building, this kind of infinite resource that you have, the building that you are doing is meant to, I mean, what it feels like here is that you're building a house for your mom. Okay, that's what Spirit is telling me, building a house for mom. It could very well be literal, but I don't think so. I feel like it's more of a metaphor, you know, that we're building something in life that is meant to take care of others, right? And it could be that we're building up ourselves, we're building up our successful life, our future, our business, our career, our finances, our health, in order to, you know, take care of our loved ones, in order to share that gift with the people that we care about. And I don't care if you're working for money, if you have a job, if you have a career, maybe you're retired, right? Maybe you're, I don't know, people don't like the word retirement, right? So what do we call that period of time in our life? You know, the kind of post-career time in our lives. It could be that whatever you're building right now is meant to raise everybody else up, right? If there's a real sense of purpose here. Let's put the rest of the cards out and then we'll take a look at them one by one. Another court card, Princess of Wands, Prince of Cups now, 9 of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles really could be like a finished product, right? It could kind of be that you are, that you're creating something that is going to cause like a leveling up, you know, because it's not the end of something. It's kind of like you're making something and that's going to be, wow, now we can really start now we can really start moving and shaking. But I'm interested in all these court cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 court cards here. And in fact, most of our cards have people on them, right? People, 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 people. The only cards that don't have any people, the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like what you're trying to do is alleviate suffering for yourself and others. And by others, I mean your loved ones, primarily yourself, your immediate family, your extended family, your neighborhood, your community, the city, the state, the province, the whatever country, the world, the universe, right? We keep expanding outward and outward and outward and outward. And we're trying to see how far our rays of light can really extend. How far out into space does the sun shine? I've always wondered that. Well, we see from stars out in the sky, those are pretty far away. But yet somehow their light reaches us. Right? Isn't that amazing to think about? The unbelievable, the literally astronomical distance between my eye and the next closest star, not our sun, not this one, but the next one. How far away that they think the closest one's like 4 light years away? It took that light 4 years traveling at the speed of light to get to my eyeball. To me, that blows me away. I can't, it makes my mind dumb when I think about it, to be honest with you. But I feel like that's kind of what we're, part of what you're doing now is trying to see how far you can expand your circle, right? How far your work, your creativity, your consciousness, your aura, right? How far you can reach. How far you can expand something, right? How far your light can shine. Yeah. And that's a beautiful idea. Beautiful idea. And so we see a lot of people here. I don't think these people are all your friends and family. I think these are just, they are people all over the place. And I think that you really have this love and compassion. And I feel like you're trying to do the most work to reach the most people. Okay? So if you're doing a business, you're doing a charity, whatever you're doing, maybe you're creating art, maybe you're writing something, writing books or blogs, maybe you're making videos on YouTube, whatever it is, you're hoping to reach the most amount of people. You want everybody to be able to enjoy what you're doing and to benefit from it, even if in just some small way, right? Mystery card. Let's do that before I forget. This is the random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down right here, put frog on top. That's Kevin, by the way, aka Mr. Bates. I really got to clean up this table. Anyway, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Yeah. But if you have a hunch about it, go ahead and put it in the comments, all right? I love to have the interaction. I love to see everybody kind of putting in their predictions, and I love the energy when we get it right, And I think that a lot of us are getting it right more and more often, if you notice that. A lot of people, I read the comments. I read all the comments, good ones and the bad ones. But a lot more people seem to be kind of like, hooray, I got it. I can't believe I got the card right. So I feel like collectively we're doing it, and it's really fun to watch. It's really interesting to see more and more people like participating and more people starting to really get, if not exactly right, but close. We don't have to get the card exactly right. If we get the general suit, I think it's going to be earth, or I think it's going to be water. We're getting closer, right? Anyway. Major arcana, what do we got? We've got the sun and we've got the temperance. So we've got the sun and we've got art or temperance card. What it kind of suggests to me right away is that we're trying to extend our light. We're trying to see how far out our light can reach. At the same time, you got to save some for yourself. You've got to also use this light. You've got to find a way to recharge. Right? We know what's going on inside the sun. We know there's a lot of nuclear reaction, right? Was it nuclear fusion? I think someone can tell me, please. I think it's nuclear fusion, all these different elements being kind of fused together and creating this light and heat. And that, to me, even just the life of a star is so unbelievable and so awesome to me. Like, I'm humbled by just thinking about it. But there's something going on inside that's generating all of this light. Okay? And we have to make sure that we're aware of that. We have to make sure that we have the right elements within us that are feeding this light, this work, this activity, this consciousness that you have, this ever-expanding light that's shining out in all directions to all corners of the world. What are you doing to replenish that? What fuel are you consuming to sustain that light? I'm not just talking about being in the kitchen making a meal here, but that's part of it. This card to me always talks about the kitchen. You know, every time I see this card, I think, what are you cooking up? Yeah. I think that you like to cook. I think cooking is a big part of your life. But I think that you're aware of all types of nourishment. Physical nourishment, obviously. The sunlight that you take in. The food that you eat. The water you drink. Right? Your interaction with the elements. You grounding your energy by touching the earth, right? By touching water, by feeling the wind, by taking in the air, but also the more subtle forms. What are you consuming intellectually? What are you watching on YouTube, right? What is the news that you're watching? What is the entertainment or recreational shows that you're watching? What kind of stuff are you feeding yourself on? Okay. And then in terms of other people, in terms of relationships too, we've got to know, what are we nourishing? Are our relationships helping to sustain our activities and sustain our light and your expansive consciousness and your aspirations, your plans, your will, or not? I think in your case they are, but we have to make sure we continue to strengthen those and to be discerning about what relationships we take in, okay? Which ones we focus on, because everything that we take into us is fuel. Everything is food, right? Reminds me of Gurdjieff, who would talk about, a human being generally is like a robot. But once we start taking in the right food, there's this alchemical process that takes place that turns us into a real human, right? Kind of a Pinocchio vibe here. That we then become this kind of conscious thinking, willful, intentional being. Yeah, but it really depends on what kind of food we take in. It's a big part of it. We need something to fuel all this activity. We need something to fuel all this building. I think, with back to the Princess of Pentacles, I think something very important is happening in this plan, in this business, or this endeavor that you're involved with, something major. You're getting that kind of big resource that you need. You're getting the blank check, right? You're getting the grant. You're getting the loan. Whatever it is, you're getting that resource that's going to allow you to shine your light as far out as you can. And so now we're trying to see how far the sunlight can extend, right? No longer is the resources or finances going to be a blockage. Right? Your reach, the extent of your reach is not limited by finances. Is it limited by health? We need to think about that. These cards here, they talk about you, again, building up your health. Not just building up your resources, but in the external resources, building up your internal resources, right? Taking care of our health, because the health of our bodies helps to fuel this alchemical process of turning everything into nuclear engine fuel, right, for our solar consciousness. Now, the Chariot card in the background, okay, I feel like this is an endeavor that's taking you a lot of different places. I see the Chariot really being like, I don't know, I kind of always get like this, like a Doctors Without Borders kind of vibe, somebody just kind of traveling around, like doing good work and trying to find, now with that Sun card, trying to extend our reach, okay? Trying to penetrate into those hard to get places to help as many people as we can, right? In whatever way you are doing it. I don't know that this is literally travel. I feel like it is, but sometimes with the Chariot card, this is, we can travel a lot of places just from the comfort of our own house, right? And I'm thinking of like me doing these videos for YouTube. Trying to reach as many corners of the world as we can from this central location. And sometimes I feel like the Chariot card is saying that you need to find a home base. You need to have something that is solid, one, for you to go and rest. See, the Chariot can't just be the charioteer, too. Can't just be out on the field roaming around in the chariot all the time. When does the charioteer drive home? Get out of the chariot, take the armor off, relax, have a meal, right? So again, this card is also referring to fortification, nourishment, building up ourselves. This restorative energy. We talk about the princess and the prince as the resource, and then we're doing the building with those resources. But this is also us kind of, well, almost working inside out, right? Doing the building in ourselves. Learning that it's sometimes through rest. Most of the time it's through rest, right? You think about going to the gym. You're not building muscle by lifting the weights. If anything, lifting those heavy weights, tearing your muscles down, right? It's those rest periods where things start to get regrown, right? You tell, I got to go back to the gym. I got to tear my muscles down a little bit more often. It's through the activity, this is that activity, the outward expenditure of energy. And then it's through the rest of this process, really, the rest, the recuperation, the restructuring, the rebuilding. This is the builder, it's also the rebuilder, okay? So there's the outward and the inward. There are two sides of it, just like the Temperance card shows. And I think that we have to focus on that home base, make sure that our house is in order so that we can continue to do our good work out in the world, illuminating every corner of the world, right? With the Queen of Cups in the future position, this is, there's a heightened level of compassion and empathy in you right now. I feel that you are really experiencing other people's pain. Have you noticed that lately? If somebody is suffering, you can't help but just feel like it's heart-wrenching to you. Yeah. And maybe that's motivation. Maybe that's kind of the carrot in front of the horse. It's just being able to, in some way, help somebody, feel just even a little bit better. Doing whatever we can, no matter how small, to help alleviate suffering for ourselves and the world around us. Even if it's just by smiling at somebody, right? Making somebody laugh, or just giving someone an ear or a shoulder. Okay? I feel that you're internalizing a lot of other people's emotions right now. We're really absorbing it. And I think this is motivating for you. I think it's kind of prompting us to this kind of action. But remember, it's also food. It's also food coming in. So we have to be really aware of how much of other people's suffering are we taking in, and what is it doing to us, internally. Because we got that Nine of Swords here. And the Nine of Swords applies to you as much as it applies to everybody else. See, originally Nine of Swords to the Ace of Pentacles, I was thinking, okay, well, you're trying to take, people who are suffering, you're trying to take negative energy, darkness, evil in the world, and you're trying to just do one little thing, take one little step toward making this better, right? We're not getting rid of the swords altogether. We can't totally eliminate suffering or evil in the world, but you're doing one little thing to make it a little bit better. And that is tremendous work. Could you imagine if everybody had the same kind of energy that you have right now? If we all did that, if we all just said, yeah, we don't want there to be just suffering and misery everywhere in the world. So what's one little thing I can do today to make it just a little tiny bit better? a little tiny bit better, right? Buy somebody a coffee. Just smile at somebody, you know? Give a compliment. Say a friendly word to somebody. And that doesn't cost us anything, you know? I feel like you're doing something on a larger scale than that, obviously. But I feel that that's kind of the plan. This is really what it boils down to. All of this suffering here, we don't want it. We don't want a 9 of Swords in the world. So we're taking one step, and we're maybe helping people maybe it's on an individual basis too. We're trying to help people take that first step out of the pit, right? Out of their own despair. We're taking that first step out. You could be doing something that's related to healthcare, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. You could be a healer. You could be a psychologist or psychiatrist. You could be trying to get a charity going, kind of a food bank kind of thing, or anything like this. Maybe it is Doctors Without Borders, right? But it's kind of helping people to take that first step out of this kind of, despair energy. Yeah. But let's remember, too, that the 9 of Swords applies to yourself as well, and we have to be very careful about absorbing all of this, the darkness and pain and suffering from the world around us. And I think what comes to my mind is someone like healthcare people, like people kind of on the front line, people in first responder positions, police, fire, EMS, that sort of thing. They see people at their worst most of the time. The people that you encounter in those positions are not having a very good day, right? I remember I was an EMT for a brief period of time, and I spent some time in the ER too, doing those shifts there. And pretty much everybody I met there, all the patients, all the clients, right? They weren't having their best day. They were experiencing some kind of 9 of Swords moment, some sort of pain or despair. Yeah, maybe they were in a good mood. Some people are very lighthearted about things. But you see people when they are truly in need of something, right? And I think that we can't help but be kind of traumatized by that experience, by continually being exposed to other people's trauma, other people's pain and suffering. What's going to cause changes in us too, right? We take that into ourselves, even if we don't intend to. We can't prevent it. We take that into ourselves, and it gets transmuted into something else, into our own trauma, our own pain, our own despair, and it will eventually manifest as behavior in some way. So we have to be aware of how we're doing that and how it might be leading us into behaviors that we wouldn't necessarily choose. Okay? I want that to sink in. We've got the other court cards over here. We've got obviously the Princess of Wands here. This is part of that leading us into behaviors we wouldn't necessarily choose. The Princess of Wands, very impulsive. A lot of impulsive behavior with the Princess of Wands. So we got to be careful with that. But also, I feel like this is really your excitement, your creativity. When you know that you have infinite resources, it's kind of, this is giving you the green light. This is saying, go, do it. Execute the plan. Put all this stuff into motion. You're getting the green light here to start taking action and start doing this work that you're doing. Whatever you've been waiting for. I feel like you've been waiting for this resource or the grant or the loan or the blank check or something. And now it's saying, that you can have this kind of instantaneous circuit of manifestation from fire to earth, right? You have the idea, you have the innovative, creative energy, you're going straight to it. Going straight to production, basically, right? And so this is really a green light. We have the Prince of Cups in the position of your environment. And this is really authentic relationships. This is you connecting with people on a very sincere heart-to-heart level. Yeah. And I think it's part of this, empathy and compassion that you have. But this might be on a more personal level for you. You've got to find, because I think in your work you're coming in contact with a lot of different people, but in your personal life, make sure that you have this kind of connection in your personal life too. that you're connecting with people, that you're really, there's this authenticity, that there's this emotional openness, right? And it's kind of, it's a way of us dealing with some of the energy that we're absorbing, right? Because now we have the Prince, so it's kind of like we're able to talk about it, you know? We're able to observe it. There's water in here. We're able to communicate it. Maybe this is you kind of having your own resource, your own kind of, therapist or someone to talk to, or your own healer, right? As much as you're doing all this work for others, maybe you need that same kind of thing for you at times, okay? But this, I think, is at the very least encouraging us to strengthen these intimate relationships that we have as a way of processing and dealing with and talking about some of these things that we're witnessing in life, that we're experiencing, even if it's just, through the news or through, what we read in the papers, or I don't know if we still have newspapers or not. But you know what I mean, right? Having that outlet, having somebody close to you on a personal level that can be a little bit of a pressure relief kind of valve for all this emotional energy. Okay, because I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of emotional energy, especially with the 9 of Swords here and that Ace. We talked about those. Let's go to the mystery card. I want to see some cups. I want to see 6, 9, 10 of cups. I want to see healing. I want to see happiness. I want to see health. We might get a 4 of cups, but we could get lucky, get a 6, 9, or a 10. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Here we go. No, it's upside down. Well, maybe it's important that it's upside down, right? Because it's a 5 of Swords. It's an inverted 5 of Swords. Now, I don't usually read reversals. This is maybe the first time that we've had a reversed card as the mystery card. This is a card that is usually about competition. It's usually about mental stress. It's usually about this kind of mental, burden of being worried, being just kind of should be a lot of tension, right? A lot of tension, a lot of this. It feels like competition, but it's almost competition with ourselves, right? And it's kind of, I think, to me, what it's talking about is the way all of this experience, all of this emotional energy that you're helping to heal people from, that you are absorbing from other people, all of that stuff that you're witnessing, that you're taking in as food. It could really wreak havoc on your internal dialogue, your internal experience, right? It has mental health effects, emotional health effects. But since this is upside down, this is kind of our defense against this, right? This is saying that we are, even if we experience a lot of negativity in life, we're not becoming negative. That we're still being positive. I think because you have all the systems in place. You have everything that you need right now to deal with this. You're doing it smart. You know that you're taking in a lot of other people's negative experiences, that you're witnessing a lot of negativity in life. But you've got systems in place to where this is able to be then transmuted into positive action. So I'm not worried about your internal dialogue. I think you have a very positive internal dialogue. I think you have a very positive dialogue with your confidant, your partner, your therapist, your best friend, whatever it is, right? Someone that you could talk to freely and openly. Otherwise, I'd be worried about the 5 of Swords like this. I'd say that we're starting to think too negatively. We're starting to talk to ourselves in a negative way. But I don't see that. And hopefully this is going to continue this positive dialogue, this healthy and healthful dialogue that we have with ourselves. Yeah. Very interesting. Very cool. The first inverted mystery card. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know a little bit about the work you're doing if you feel like sharing. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.